comes from music. Movements require energy to sustain themselves, to keep us motivated. And movements require music. They always have. What we are engaged in is no different than what has come before. What we are trying to build here is an extension of the movements of the past, pushing ever forward towards justice and equality. In those movements, song and music was a necessity. In the labor movement, in the civil rights movement, in the anti-war movement, all of these were movements sustained by music. Sustained by that energy you get when you share a space with someone, when you stand on a picket line, when you stand at a protest, when you're getting arrested. And it is in song that you can find energy and solidarity with each other. It's probably no surprise to find that the Ballad of the 20th Maine is one of my favorite songs. I also had the uniquely surprising moment to sing it at a Hearts of Pine game, and then find out a second later that Griffin was like 2 people over from me. Personally, that was a very wonderful experience. You know, that song is about a time where Maine was expected to make sacrifices. Where Maine showed up for the country in a fight for decency, in a fight for equality. We have that song because Maine did its part. And today, we need to do it again.
Yeah!
Our democracy is under attack.
Yep.
The reason we are in this room together today is because there is a move to steal democracy from us, to restrict access to the ballot for Mainers of all stripes. We must defeat it. And to defeat it, we must engage in something many of us have never done before. And that is getting involved.
Yep.
For those of you in this room who've ever organized before, you know that organizing is fundamentally difficult. It requires you to go out into your community and tell people what you believe. It requires you to have conversations with people you know you are going to disagree with, and you have to have them anyways. And you have to remain open and empathetic and compassionate, understanding that not everyone is where you are now, but that there is hope. There is hope in the ability of people to change. I have had times in my life where I gave up hope. Times where I thought there was no way out of this. Times where I just wanted to move into the woods and be left alone. And I kind of did that. And then this very weird thing happened. By moving back to my hometown, by creating a small life, working on the sea, getting involved in local, not even politics, it's planning board. In that, I realized that a lot of people that I saw as on the other side of something were actually on my side. Because they still show up for their neighbors. They still show up to cut out a downed tree over a driveway. They still show up to help deliver food to the elderly or the infirm. They actually have the exact same values I do. We have a definition of politics today that I think is not accurate. We have a political system that frames everything as our divisions between each other. It is a politics of polarization. It is a politics that requires all of us to think that we are different from our neighbors. When you spend a lot of time in the state of Maine, you realize that Mainers have everything in common. You realize that when the hospital closes, it doesn't matter who you voted for. When people can no longer afford a roof over your head, it doesn't matter what your voter registration says. Those are the material conditions that we live in today, and they're going to get worse. And we need to engage with a different kind of politics now. We need to reconnect with the reality of politics. And that is what is happening here. Politics is not about the TV ads. It's not about the theatrics. It's not about the campaigns. Politics is about building power. Building power in your community. Using that power to press back against the system. To press back up against the establishment. That is politics. And the wild part is it's actually not that complicated. It's just incredibly hard. It requires time and energy and labor and discipline, and it requires getting uncomfortable. But right now, in American history, Maine yet again finds itself at the forefront. For whatever reason that we didn't ask for, here we find ourselves again. We need to find energy again. We need to find our power again. We as Mainers now find ourselves in a moment that could very much change the trajectory of our future. And it is our time to rise to the occasion.
Yeah!
One of the ways we do that is by learning. Learning the skills necessary to build power. That's why you're here today. We are here to learn how to organize, how to canvass, how to build trust with people you've never met and go knock on doors, how to build the courage to have conversations that you know are going to be difficult. These are skills. They're not complicated, but they are hard. And they require your time. They require you having the commitment to the project. And when it's over, when Tuesday come and goes and we defeat question one, when we have protected democracy in the state of Maine, when it's done, you have to show back up. When it's done, you have to take what you learned this weekend and you have to apply it in your own community. I don't care if you bring it back in to work with our campaign. I don't care if you take it to go work with the labor union. or if you go work with a community organization, you go work with a mutual aid network. It doesn't matter where you put your energy, but it matters that you put it somewhere. One of the other things we have to do once we have beaten this back is we have to continue protecting ourselves. Now, in the last 6 months, food banks across Maine have lost 50% of their funding. We need to make up the difference because nobody is coming to save us. That is why we asked you today to bring goods, to bring money. And now I have to look at my phone so I can remember what I'm supposed to say. The federal government is not going to show up and save food banks in Maine. Not now. We got to do something vastly different in our politics before that happens again. We need to make up the difference. So direct donations that you brought today, they're going to go to the food hub over on Preble Street.
Yeah!
Monetary donations are going to go to Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Program. And after Tuesday, you need to show up to your local food bank. And you can continue supporting them. Put in the time. Put in the effort. Your neighbors require it. Your neighbors need you. And hopefully in all of this work, we are going to learn that we all need each other. And that it is in each other, it is in the people of Maine, that we are going to find the energy. We are going to find the time. We're going to find the solidarity to build the power we need to change politics in this country. It falls to us again in American history to do something big, and we are going to do it. We are going to build power again with working people. We are going to build power again in our communities. We are going to retake our politics away from those who would rather see us all divided.
Yes.
We are going to do it, and we are going to show the rest of this country the path forward. Because as Maine goes, so goes the nation. Thank you all very much. Solidarity forever, power to the people.
Woo! Yeah, Graham! Graham! Woo!
I just had to call out the Make Billionaires Extinct t-shirt I see down there. If you like what you have heard today, stay in your seats. Because after this is the training part.
Oh,
After
yeah.
this is where you learn the skills necessary. So if you would like to go out this weekend, if you would like to figure out how to have these conversations, if you would like to begin building that trust and that skill set, stay in your seats, and we're going to have a fantastic program of how to canvass.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to take all that out onto the streets, and we're going to defeat question one. Thank you very much.
for people who are senior citizens, homebound, active military. So we want you to understand how you can help. So afterwards, we are going to have canvassing, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about now. How to speak to people. Graham, you know, he talks about building a movement and your community, and there are already thousands of people out today canvassing, and you can join them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through a brief training about how we talk to people and what we do, and then we will ask you if you want to canvass. There's an opportunity to sign up to phone bank as well. We have trainers who can help you. But what we're doing when we speak to people is we really want to get to know what they are worried about, what they are talking about. So we want to have a conversation with them. If you don't want to, if you live elsewhere, you can also campaign. So if you have a phone and you want to download an app, take out your phone right now. There is an app. There's an app for everything. There's an app for that. So you're going to want to download the Minivan Touch app. By the way, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, nice to meet you. I run Activate Maine, if you've heard of it.
Woo!
So, you've heard of it? Yeah! Thank you. Activate Maine is a calendar with all the anti-fascist events. Check it out. All right. So, what we do when we talk to people is we really want to get to know what they are thinking about. In the Minivan Touch, what you do is you get a number for canvassing, and it will have a script for you there. So all you'll have to do is follow the script, and you just say, hi, introduce yourself, and you say, I'm a volunteer with the Plattner campaign. How are you? Be nice, smile, be warm. What? People yelling at me? No.
No.
Okay. And you want to stress that you're stopping by as a volunteer, introduce yourself, and ask if they've heard about the campaign. I don't know what kind of rock you'd have to be living under not to have heard of Graham Plattner at this point. But okay, it happens. So you'll ask, have you heard of Graham? If they say yes, that's really great, but you are not there to ask for their vote. This is not about that. This is about hearing from them. This is important to get this information. It'll ask you to check yes or no, because to continue to give people what they want and listen to people, we need this information. So it is important to check yes, check no. And now, if they haven't, that's fine. And there's a little thing about introducing him. Graham is a Marine and an Army veteran. Oyster farmer, Democratic candidate running for U.S. Senate to defeat Susan Collins.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Defeat her billionaire backers
You!
and win the seat for working Mainers being priced out of our homes.
Not APAC.
No impact.
Woo!
So you again stress, I'm not here for your vote, we just want to hear from you. And there are issues that people have, and they will tell you about them, and you can put that in the notes. You do not have to convince them of everything. You don't have to talk about Graham's position on things. You say, thank you for that information. I will let the campaign know. It's because it's about building that community. So if they are strongly supporting Janet Mills or Susan Collins, thank them for their time, and just mark that in the thingy. Don't try to convince them otherwise. We don't need to get into, discussions about it and end the conversation.
Move along.
Move along. Move right along. Are you telling me to move along?
No.
right? So we want to make sure that you are there to say, we also want you to vote no on one. We have an important election. I'm voting no on one. And will you join me in voting no on one? And I personally, and what you can do is talk about why you are doing it, why you're volunteering, why you're there, why you back Graham, what you're passionate about, why you think no on one. I want to thank you personally. It doesn't look like it, but I am disabled. And I have had moments where I couldn't get to the polls. And I needed absentee voting. And so I want to thank you for taking the time if you are going to volunteer and go door to door because you're representing me.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to go door to door either. You can phone bank,
Thank you.
text bank,
yeah.
but we are pressing this. This is soon. And so I want to also, you can ask people if they'd like to volunteer as well. And you can take their phone number, ask them for their phone number. Let me see if I'm missing it. Okay, has everybody got that minivan app?
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Ideally, you'll use that. There are some printouts for the script back there. And if you'd like to join, there are tables back there where you can get your canvas. They'll have a paper version, and they will give you your neighborhood. They give you the address. All of these are democratic. I should have mentioned that first. All of these are democratic voters. So you're going to friends. You're going to people who are strongly democratic. So if you have any questions, I don't think I missed anything, but did I miss anything? Oh, well, so let me introduce somebody who's just doing an amazing job organizing volunteers. Let me introduce Abel. Give him a round of applause.
Woo!
Hi, I'm field organizer with the campaign. Thank you, Rachel, for giving just a really good sort of overview. I just want to give you guys a couple more details. So we are going to be, we have 3 options for you today to help get involved. We have the canvas. If you go to the table there, we have about a dozen fully trained volunteers who are going to be able to answer all of your questions if it's your first time. I would say, if it is your first time, it's a nerve-wracking thing. I remember the first time I went canvassing, and I remember how stressed I felt beforehand. I would say that after you finish, you will realize it is one of the most rewarding ways to take action, I think, out of any possible organizing thing you can do for a campaign. Being able to speak to neighbors, to people in your community about the issues that are important to them is really inspiring for me. It's a way to ground, I think, in a media environment that is so tumultuous and angry. It is very grounding and also extremely useful in cultivating meaningful relationships with these voters. So we're going to have those canvases set up. We have printed turfs for downtown Portland, Deering, and South Portland. If you live anywhere else, we have a distributed turf number that you can put into your minivan app, and it will generate the 30 closest doors to wherever you generated from. So you can drive home, you can take some materials with you, and then put in that number, and you will be given the 30 closest doors to that location that you can go and knock. That's when you're going to implement all of the things that Rachel said. It is, again, we're not asking any votes, for any votes. We are encouraging people to go out and vote for no on one, and then we are listening to them. We're asking them questions. What are the things that are most important to you? What issues do you want your senators, what issues do you want your elected representatives to be fighting for? So it's important that you are, when you're initiating these conversations, that you are remembering that the most important thing is listening. It is not about talking to these people. It's not about trying to convince these people. It's about listening to their concerns. If they ask you hard questions, you don't need to know all the answers. You can refer to the website where we have very thorough coverage of all of the issues that Graham has publicly come out for or against. And sorry, for questions. So, yes, that's a good question. For other questions, I'm just going to ask you guys. There's a lot of people in the room. It's a big room. I can't see everyone, but we have a lot of folks that are out there who will be able to answer that. Oh, that's helpful. Thank you. The reason we're knocking Democratic doors is because we need to encourage every single registered Democrat to come out. The thing that we're really pushing for this weekend, that we did yesterday and that all over the state we've been doing today, is what we call deep canvassing. Deep canvassing is what I was just talking about, inviting people to share the issues that are important to them, and then using that as a way to build credibility with them. So then when we ask them to go out and vote on Tuesday or to cast an early ballot, there is some credence to that ask. There's some credibility to the ask. They feel more of a personal connection with the campaign. The reason that we're doing Democrats is because there are a lot of Democrats in the state, and there are a lot of Democrats in this city that we haven't reached yet. That we want to make sure we are getting to them and encouraging them to vote and remind them to vote, because these elections and an off-election year can slip a lot of people's minds, including Democrats, and we need every single Democrat in Portland and the surrounding areas to turn out so we can make sure that we vote down the ballot. So this is not the only canvass that we're going to be doing. We're going to be reaching out to unenrolled voters. We're going to be reaching out to independents and Republicans. But for this weekend, we really want to stress talking to strong Democrats as a way of guaranteeing and ensuring that they are going out to vote. If canvassing is not your style, if today is not a good day for you to canvass, I have two other options for you. At the merch table by the entrance, there are materials that you can go and grab. No one flyers and flyers for the campaign that you can go and grab and do flyers at your local grocery stores, at your downtown areas, wherever you know that there will be people. You can do that today, you can do that tomorrow, and you can do that on Tuesday. And there's no door knocking involved. It's still public. It still requires you to be out and interacting with people and answering their questions, but it doesn't have the sort of added element of going up and knocking on someone's door. The other option that we have is we have 3 really big upcoming phone banks. We have one tomorrow night at 6 p.m. and then 2 on election day. The first one I think is at noon, and the second one starts at 4. Sign up for those. Even if you are canvassing today, please sign up for those. Getting those calls out is super important in ensuring that we're getting folks out to the polls on election day. Those are the things I wanted to remind you of. I'm going to be over by the canvassing table along with a lot of our other fully trained volunteers to be able to answer the questions that were waiting in the back. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Graham really appreciates it. This is an incredible turnout. We hope to knock a ton of doors today. So if you are available to do canvassing, please come to the table. We will get you set up. We will give you further clarification on anything you need. So thank you, everyone.
Woo! Thank you.